Hello, friends. Welcome to our MOSI Live. We're here for doing Facebook Live. My name is Ian Reed. I'm the manager of youth and academic programs. We will be conducting Facebook Live with science experiments, different things you can do at home every day at 1:30. So to start off our first one, since we're all here, I'm pretty sure you have concerns about this. This is a picture of the coronavirus. This is what has caused our world to change upside down, and so many persons are now being affected by it. And so one of the things we were talking about at MOSI was, I wonder if people actually know what a virus is and what a virus can do. Now, if you talk to scientists, they will tell you that some scientists believe that the coronavirus or viruses are living things, and some say that they are not living things. And so, a virus basically is a material, basically which has a sheath and protein coat. And what it does is, inside of it, it has DNA and RNA that injects into a cell. And then what happens is, from that material that's injected into the cell, it replicates, reproduces, and then the cell will burst, and more viruses are released to infect other cells. You're probably more familiar with common cold, which is also a virus. It's called Rhino Virus. That is what it looks like. Or, if you've had that scratchy disease, chickenpox. Chickenpox is a form of a virus as well. All right? Now, some viruses are actually passed through by what we call vectors. And vectors are kind of like the middleman. What they do is they go around and they either bite or inject parasites or something that's inside of them into someone else, and that's how they get it. So, for example, malaria is caused by the bite of a mosquito, but it's the parasite that is actually inside of the mosquito that is transmitted, which causes malaria. You probably all have heard of the Black Death or Black Plague, which we all blamed on mice or rats, when we found out actually were gerbils. Probably wondering how something so cute could translate this. And then again, it was just a vector through fleas and other material that were living in the fur of the gerbils that translated and bit humans. There you go. Another one is a deer tick. If you've ever heard of Lyme Disease, that is also an example of a vector. Biting the deer and then giving to humans when bit this disease. And so it's basically something that the parasite travels through in order to infect. So we have a really cool experiment for you all today. And so what we're going to do is this. So you look at our cups over here. I have 12 cups, okay? Now these 12 cups will represent people, like you and I, okay? But here's the difference. 4 out of these 12 cups actually has something in it that would make everyone else sick, okay? And so what we're gonna do is we're going to exchange some fluids, and exchange of fluids could be coughing, sneezing, because viruses are immotile, which means they do not move on their own. They are propelled out through coughing and sneezing, materials that come out of the body, and so that's how they're able to travel. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a game. So out of these 12 cups, we're just going to do a little mix and matches. So what I'm going to do is there's fluid in the cups, and so pour some. We're going to mix it up here a little bit.
So, Mr. Ian, they're not practicing social distancing?
No, they're not. Not at this time. At this time, we don't know what social distancing is, but we should. And so again, this is coming into contact with slapping high fives with each other, giving hugs, kissing one another, with our family members and relatives. And so we're just having a good time. There we go.
Ermila says, hi, Mr. Ann.
Hello, Ermila. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a substance called phenolphthalein. All right, this is what we call an indicator. So I have some here that we're going to use, and what we're going to do, as you saw, we were just mixing some things around, and you will see who has it or not. So we're going to test. So that is a positive indication. So as you saw before, there was nothing there, but now, cup number one, our first person has it. So let's move to the next cup. Look at that, cup number two. Remember, we only had, so we're gonna move on. Oh, cup number three is also positive. Oh, cup number four is positive, so that's four already. Oh, look at that, 5. Clean bill of health. Move on to 6. Oh, that's a positive as well. Let's move on to 7. Well, looks like you have it now. So 2 more persons have become infected from our original 4 persons. 8, clean bill of health. Here. Now, you probably do not have this substance called phenolphthalein, but there's another indicator that we can use. If you're familiar with Christmas Story, little Ralphie, one in that Red Ryder BB gun, they ate something called red cabbage. I've made, and the reason that I use the red cabbage is because it has something in it called anthocyanin. And what that does is we can use that as an indicator, because when it reacts to certain substances, we actually get certain colors. So I'm using a different pipette tool. And this you can find at Publix. As a matter of fact, I was there just the other day. And so we're going to continue. Now with this, you're going to see. So we've moved on to number 9. Oh, look at that. Now it's turned green.
Can you hold it up?
And so now they have it. All right. So let's look at 10. Oh, they have it as well. Let's get a little bit more. Oh, look at 11.
Can you hold it?
They now have it.
It disconnects.
And then let's look at 12. They have it as well. So remember, from our original population, only 4 to have it. Now if we count, we notice that that population has grown by 6. So now 10 persons now have this sickness as shown by our indicators. So only 2 don't have it. So if you're wondering why persons are saying to practice social distancing and things of this nature, that is why. So notice how quickly it spread and how many more persons are affected. Now, let's talk about 2 gentlemen who were kind of on the cusp there, cutting edge. First person is Louie Pasteur. Louie Pasteur is a chemist, and he actually debunked or said that there was no such thing as a theory of spontaneous generation, which basically meant that people thought long time ago that for certain germs and diseases that it came out of the air, just came out of nowhere. It was invisible. Now It's here, all right? And so he debunked that by showing germs under a microscope and doing different experiments. That's why we have pasteurization, named after Louie Pasteur. Anytime you do something useful in science, you get to name it after yourself. So Louie Pasteur was a chemist who came up with that, debunked this whole spontaneous generation theory, and was able to show germs and how they were able to cause. Here's Dr. Joseph. I don't know if you understand this or not, and this is why doctors are letting everyone know about having the right type of equipment, gloves, personal protection equipment, masks, and things of this nature. It actually really began with Dr. Lister. Dr. Lister was a surgeon, and most persons, unfortunately, died in early surgery in the 19th and 20th century, early 20th century, because persons did not wear gloves. When they had surgeries, they actually did it with their hands. So it was not the surgery that didn't work well, it was the fact that the germs that were on the hands actually caused an infection. So Dr. Lister, English physician, decided he would rub it on. This was because the acid was able to fight off the infection, more patients lived, and he wrote about it, and it was received, but much later on was it implemented, which means that person started to do it. So these two persons, very influential early on in talking about germs and how to combat these germs. All right, very good. Oh, and also make sure to wash your hands. Very, very important. There are germs on our hands, so that's why we're washing and hopefully as well sanitizing. It is very, very, very important. There was something from Google last week about a doctor who talked about the importance of washing hands, which is very, very important. So you want to, when you wash your hands, make sure it's soap and water, of course, rubbing hands together, rubbing in between fingers on the hand, scrubbing inside palms and outside of palms, and that will help to cut down on germs. And also to use and to dry your hands as well, and to use hand sanitizer, which will help out as well. And so hopefully this is kind of giving you some insight into what is happening now with viruses, and you understand what viruses are and how quickly it can spread, which is causing concern for everyone. So we want you to be safe out there. And again, we'll be having another one tomorrow. Question?
Does anybody have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
We have Beth who says, most people forget to wash their thumb. And that's something to definitely keep track of.
Yes, washing your thumb as well. So in my little thing there, that was the one thing, thank you, Beth, that I forgot. So in my washing, so remember this other side, and also the thumbs. Any other questions? All right.